Greetings, it's Bradley J. and Bradley J. Travel. Today, it's Egypt, and more specifically, Cairo. If you like busy marketplaces and donkey carts and warrens of cobblestone alleyways and steaming pots of exotic foods giving off exotic smells, if you like rugs and textiles and a very different culture, and if you like people who have a different life experience and are able to share that experience, then you may very well like Cairo. Now, these images are self-explanatory, so I'll just tell my story. The first thing you notice when you come out of the airport is it's big and loud and hot. Second thing you may notice is you don't hear any English spoken, but rest assured, if somebody's selling something, they probably speak English. And even if they don't, it's a pretty simple matter to ask somebody, how much is one of those? Everybody gets that. One thing that is difficult to get used to is the art of haggling. It is kind of a pain to have to haggle for everything. And it is an art that takes some getting used to. I'm still not totally used to it. There's kind of a template to get it done quickly. But since we're new at it, we always wonder, maybe I can get them down lower. So it's this fine line between being a sucker and being too hard and trying to go down low. And who knows where that line is. Like any city, there are the shops that sell the goods, and then there are the shops that make the goods, which are, in many cases in Cairo, in the back alleys, way out in back of the shops that sell goods. So I think it's really fun to get away from the places that sell this stuff and walk around where they make it. And you can see the warehouses where they keep it. Now, I bought a hookah in Luxor, and then upon coming back to Cairo, I wanted to get the hose. I wanted to get a new hose. And so I went out in the back, and some kid took me to a warehouse where they had hundreds of these hoses made out of leather. And the price for the hose I chose was $3. This warehouse happened to be on Tentmaker Street. And if you happen to go to Cairo, go to Tentmaker Street. And when you're on Tentmaker Street, you'll realize, oh man, this is the real deal. It's so much different than out front where the shops are and all the shop owners are saying, hey, come here, buy this. They don't bother you back there. They're just making stuff. I did not see anyone making tents on Tentmaker Street, but you can bet at some point they made tents. Cairo is riddled with little hole-in-the-wall restaurants that are selling food to the working class people, to the locals, to the people who are making stuff, and the people who are selling stuff. And the food in there is unrecognizable. You could ask, what's that? But they're not gonna be speaking English, so just be bold, pick something, go with it. It's probably gonna be like $3. You can maybe eat it in the shop, or take it with you and eat it as you walk. Of course, you have to visit the pyramids if you're going to Cairo. They're not that far away. Giza is a suburb of Cairo, and you can take a cab there. If you climb a tower in Cairo or go to the top of a building, you can see the pyramids in the distance. Near the pyramids, there will be people offering to give you a camel ride. Yes, it's touristic, but do it anyway. Here's Tentmaker Street that I mentioned. One of my very favorite memories. Old guys smoking the hookah, drinking tea, and talking on the phone. Cairo is a cultural tsunami. Just let it wash over you. Now, I'm not a person that takes well to people telling me, oh, this is must see, but there are certain things that you're crazy if you don't do when you're in Cairo, and one is the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir Square. Tahrir Square, by the way, is where the Arab Spring germinated about 3 weeks after I was there. Now, I know you may say, Bradley J., I've seen mummies and sarcophagi, but trust me, nothing can prepare you for the intensity, the magic of the Egyptian Museum. And one of the jewels in the crown of the Egyptian Museum is King Tut's mask. Now I know many of you have been to museums and seen amazing things, but when you see King Tut's mask, you probably will actually gasp. Now, if you're in Cairo, you're not that far from Luxor. And if you're adventurous, you might want to take a little side trip to Luxor. You can fly down for the day, or I recommend staying over. And get out on the Nile in Luxor. It's much more beautiful than being on the Nile in Cairo. The highlight of the whole trip for me was getting out on the Nile in Luxor in a felucca, an ancient type of sailboat. The banks are lined with guys that'll take you out, and I recommend it. I've done a couple dedicated videos on Luxor itself, as well as a boat ride on the Nile. If you do go to Cairo, you will return with a different perspective on your own life and your own world, which is a valuable thing. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. Click on the bell to get notified of future posts, and remember to travel lightly.